Okay, there we go. Okay, my audio was not working. I got it working, guys. Okay, so welcome to the mini paint challenge. Yeah, I turned off the stream by accident, exactly. So you guys will have to join the other stream. Hopefully you guys can make it into the other chat. I've never done that before. It just like turned it off by accident. But welcome to the mini paint challenge. We've got a great live stream today. I'm just gonna wait a little bit until a bunch of you guys get in. So if you're watching this back, just forward it until I start the paint mixing. But I think I've got this going. I'm just gonna open up a new chat window so then I can see when you guys are in here, and hopefully it hopefully it works out. There we go. Okay, I've got the new chat up. Hopefully, hey. Yeah, we gotta be in a new one there. Okay, there we go. I have got that going. Okay, so I will start this here then. And yeah, so today we've got a collab with another artist, which is super fun. I did a collab a few weeks ago with an artist from the UK, and this time, yeah, I had to start a new stream because it like ended the other one. Yeah, so I hope everyone makes it into this one okay. It's working now, I think. The audio wasn't working on the other one and then it ended the stream, so made a new one. We're only a few minutes late, so we should be good. But yeah, this week I've got an artist from Sweden. And so if you're new here, you can join in on the challenge. I have the reference photo up on my website. So if you go to the mini paint challenge link in my bio, you can grab the higher quality, like resolution reference photo there. And then it's a little bit nicer to have a bigger blown up version of the reference photo to go off of. I am going to have one in the corner of my screen. But this week it's a collab. I made a little collab screen. So we're collabing with this artist. Her name is Anna. And she provided this really beautiful reference photo this week. So she's got this reference photo here, a cute little donut. And you can crop it in any way that you want or zoom in on it. So I actually, so this is her little painting that she did. She just sent me this one. It's like, I think she said a 4" by 4", about that. And we're going to be doing ours 3" by 3", so similar size, which is nice. And this is the one that I have edited because I thought it would be really cool to do like a blue background on it. So I'm really excited to be trying this out. And let me know what you guys think of these little scenes. I added some like extra little scenes so then you guys can see the artist and stuff at the top because I wanted to do more collabs this year. I think it'd be really fun to get artists from like all over the world like doing this with us. So yeah, I'm really excited. So I thought I would add this little scene showing you guys all of these little things. And I will go over to the paint mixing scene now. I already have some of the colors kind of situated here. I hope everyone made it over from the other stream. Now, I apologize for the ending of the other stream so quickly. I'll have to figure out why it ended like that. But I figured it out. Okay, so we've got colors today. I decided to just kind of keep some colors on my palette from last week when I was painting. So we've got, yeah, it's a new link, so I'm gonna have to change the link in a bunch of different things now. Yeah, there was a few people that were there already. Maybe I'll quickly change the link on my Instagram story because now it's linked to a completely different stream, which is not ideal. Let me just I'm gonna delete that story, and we will quickly take a photo of our little setup, and hopefully people will join in on this one, so then we can get the link for this one for them. I will do mini paint challenge and link, and I will go to my YouTube and link there we go. I'll just have to delete the other live stream link. There we go. That's the one where we're live right now. Watch here. And I'll do a live. There we go. Okay, now I shared the new link, so hopefully people get in on the new link. Okay, thank you. I was gonna delete it, but I saw you deleted it already. See, my hubby's already on it. He's already got it deleted for us. Okay, so I will go over the colors that we've got now. I will do that. So this one is titanium white, and then we have quinacridone magenta, alizarin crimson. We've got, if anyone is lingering in there, maybe they'll get booted out and they'll show up here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That's a good idea. Oh, I knew that Kit Kat would come over here. She's trying to steal my waffles. I have like waffles sitting over there. I knew you would be after my waffles. How did I know? I knew it. I put them over here this time. Cat stole my food last time I was on stream. And then we've got, so the next color is cadmium red light for this one. And then we've got cadmium yellow light. And then we've got, there's a sap green, cerulean blue, and ultramarine blue. And I'm trying to think if we need any other colors for this reference. So we've got kind of the cerulean blue for like the background color, which I think will be really nice. And then we've got, so we've got the pink. I'm thinking the quinacridone magenta will be really pretty as like the donut colors. There's a few different like pinks. I haven't decided yet. Like there's kind of almost like sugariness on the top of the donut. I feel like we should try to do a little bit of the sugary details if we have time on the donut. But what I'm most excited about is all the cute little marshmallows on top. I'm thinking we'll make them a bit more colorful because I think it'd just be fun to like make them a little bit brighter pink. And then maybe the other marshmallows, some of them could be a little bit blue and then like some of them a little bit yellow. Just have like colorful marshmallows on the top, I think would be fun. And I think we have all the colors that we need for that. We've got a pretty limited color palette today, which is good. These are pretty much my regular colors that I use. So I think that'll honestly be good. I think we got a good color palette there. We can start the color mixing now, since we've got everything organized. Just gonna wipe this off a little bit. I just took it out of the freezer and I should have taken it out a little bit sooner. I was like, no, I need to have a shower this morning so I feel nice and fresh for the stream today. So I spent my time showering and not getting this ready. But at least we're clean now, so that's good. Okay. So we will start off, I think, I just want to start off with the blue background because it's just so pretty. I really, really love the blue background. I think that will be a nice one to start out with. And then we will go from there after we get the blue background sorted out. Okay, so let's go with, using my little palette knife here, I'm gonna start with, I think, the darker kind of shadow blue area. So we're gonna work in, what's my trusty arrow down here. I'm gonna start with that darker blue down there. So we've got ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue there. And then we're gonna add a little bit of cerulean blue. And I want to add a bit of quinacridone magenta. Do a mix of blue and magenta, and it'll kind of make like this purpley color. I think the purple will be really nice in the shadow. Okay, there we go. It's a pretty nice color there that we've mixed up. Let me just see how close that is. Might even be like a little bit dark. I'm trying to decide if I want to tone that down a little bit. I think it's still like a little bit blue for my liking. I'm going to set this color aside. I'm going to try alizarin crimson. This is like my normal like purple color that I make, and I just really love ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson together. I feel like they just make such a pretty purple. Okay. Let's see. So that's closer to what I want. I think alizarin crimson just makes such a pretty purple. It's like hard to, I was trying to do something different. Okay. I think I'm going to use that as like the shadow color, and then we'll kind of like fade it out from this darker color. So I'm going to put that to the side, put a little bit on the palette. I might use a little bit of this in there. It'll kind of make a slightly different purple. I think that'll be okay and fun to play with. Okay, and that'll be the next color. But I wanted it for the like really dark areas to be kind of that normal color we use. And then I'm thinking we'll do just this blue color here, ultramarine blue. And that'll be for the other parts of the shadow section. And then as we get to the edges of the shadow, this one's actually a pretty like harsh shadow, so we don't need a ton of blending actually in the shadow area this time. But I am gonna make like one lighter transition color just to have it. Put this to the side of it because I just mostly need this color here. This one is cerulean blue. It's very pigmented. I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker blue into it, but it'll be perfect for that area. I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white to it as well. Okay. Looks pretty good there. And then we'll also try to make like a lighter version of it too. So this is just for the edge, and now we're gonna grab more of the titanium white, quite a bit more. We're gonna make that lighter blue. I actually did a donut painting with a blue background not too long ago. I think it was in December I painted it. Me and my husband did one. Where is it? Oh, I set it aside so I could show you guys. So I did, I'll put it here. This is the one that I did in December. I just love how this one turned out, like with like all the sprinkles and stuff. I love doing donuts. They're so nice. The palette knife is screeching. I know, it's a little screechy today because so when the palette is cold, I feel like it always screeches more. So I apologize until it warms up. Okay, that's like closer to what we want. I think we made it a little too white, so I'm gonna add a little bit of this in there. A little screechy. I'm so surprised the screeches are being picked up by my headphones that much. I guess the headphones are able to pick up quite a bit of stuff in the room. Because my mic is on the headphones. Okay, I like that. That's nice. We'll make a slightly lighter one as well. I have to grab some more. Definitely gonna have to grab some more titanium white. At least we used up the old ones from last week. Oh, last week we also painted this little guy here for Valentine's Day, and I love how this one turned out. It's so cute, the little cherries on it. Like how it makes the like little heart there, little heart shape with the cherries. Okay, got that going. And then hey, how's it going? Welcome to the live stream. We are slowly mixing the background color right now, so just starting. We're a little behind today actually, because the stream decided to end on me in the first like 40 seconds of starting it, so I had to make a new live stream. So I hope everyone who was waiting in the other one made it over to this one. I don't miss it. It's so satisfying too. Oh, thank you. I know, I love the paint mixing part. I feel like the mixing part is like one of my favorite things. That and then adding the final highlights on the painting at the end too. I find that really satisfying. Watch you mix the colors. Yeah, I just love color mixing. Like I know you can probably buy a lot of the colors already pre-mixed in tubes, but it's just so much fun to mix your own colors and like get the exact colors that you really want. And like you said, it's just satisfying to mix them. Okay, I think we've got some pretty nice blue colors there along the side. So we've got a nice transition from the shadow area to the lighter blue section over here. Now I'm thinking we will work on the dark sections of this pink. So we will clean off the palette a little bit, just so we don't mix the blue and the pink together. It's always important to clean off your palette in between very different colors, so then you don't end up kind of making your colors look muddy. And that's one of the reasons I like mixing my colors beforehand too. I feel like you end up with like a lot more bright, like saturated colors if you do the color mixing beforehand. And I'm thinking for the donut, I want to use the quinacridone magenta. So I'm going to grab that color. It's this really nice deep pink color, but I think if we add a little bit of blue to it, so if we add a little bit of this blue over here, we kind of mix this blue here. That was just a quinacridone magenta and blue. think if we add a bit of that into here, it'll be a nice dark part. So like we've got the darkest parts in here right now are, oops, I'm making my arrow smaller. In this section here, it's darker, and then all in these shadow areas, it's darker. And we're pretty much going to add like just a base color. So we're pretty much just like adding a base color to it first, and we're going to add the lights and darks, and then we'll go in with like details in our painting afterwards. So we want to make that dark area. Just going to see how that looks. Making sure you hold up the paint to the reference photo will help. I think I want to add a little bit more blue in there. So right now it's just quinacridone, magenta, and ultramarine blue that we're mixing together, and it'll make a really nice purple. And I think this will be a really nice base for the bottom. Yeah, so that'll be really good. I'm going to set this one to the side. I'm going to keep a little bit of it on my palette knife. And we're going to use this to make like a transition color. So I'm going to grab more quinacridone magenta. Slight transition color. A bit more quinacridone magenta. We might have to grab some more out. That should be a nice transition color. I'm going to grab a bit of that, put that underneath. And then what we're going to start to do is we're going to actually lighten the color now with a bit of titanium white. And this is going to be like purpley, but we're also going to make a more pinky one too, just to have like different pinks and purples in the donut section. I feel like it's nice to play around with different pinks and purples, and this one has like quite a few different pinks and purples, which is nice. And we're just mixing a little bit of paint. Like, you're welcome to do this a bigger size too, but I'm only doing like a 3" by 3" painting, so I'm trying not to mix too much pigment. There we go, that looks pretty nice. I like this purpley color. I'm going to grab some more quinacridone magenta as well. And I find this just mixed with a little bit of the titanium white, make a slightly lighter color than this one. That one's got more purpley in it. We will make a slightly lighter color that's a bit more pinky. And then we'll also grab more alizarin crimson, I think, because we used it up there. And we will make a pink out of the alizarin crimson too, because it gives us a nice, like, kind of rosy pink. This alizarin crimson, and I feel like that'll be really nice in the background to add like more of like a rosy one. The one color I haven't invested in yet is quinacridone rose, and a lot of people talk about that color in a really positive way. I find that, so quinacridone magenta is more on like the cool side. It's got like blues and like purpley tones in it, whereas like quinacridone rose, I guess, is more on like the warmer side. So I would like to try using quinacridone rose at some point. I don't think the brand of paint I use, Gamblin, I don't think they actually have a quinacridone rose, but I will just get it from a different brand at some point. So this one is more of like a lighter pinky purple, so that'll look good. Found you, thank you. I know, I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to find the new live stream right away. The other one decided to stop on me for some reason. I don't know why it stopped, but I posted the new link up in my stories, so hopefully everyone like can find me. I'll have to do some troubleshooting later. I think it just like maybe clicked it too many times. Technical difficulties over here. I sorted it out within a few minutes. Kit Kat's trying to steal my waffles still. Probably because I was trying to like multitask. I was like trying to like shove waffles down my throat while I was trying to start the stream. And I kind of messed up there. It's okay, at least we got a new live stream going on. We're only a few minutes late, so that's okay. Okay, so I just added a bit more alizarin crimson there. And then I've got to put that here, and I'm just going to mix that with titanium white to make a slightly different type of pink. And this makes a really, really nice pink. And this will be, let me see where this will, so I think this will be good kind of like around the edges and on some of the like crystally sugar. I don't know if I'm going to paint all of the crystally sugar in because we are doing it on such a small surface. I do love the sugary texture though, it is really pretty. Add a little bit more titanium white to that. I want it a little bit lighter. Could make a slightly darker one too, so I have like a darker version and a lighter version. Oops. Okay, alizarin crimson. I'll make a slightly darker one too, actually. I was just going to do the lighter one, but I think having a slightly darker one for the crystally sugar on the donut would be nice. We can kind of just add that near the end as like finishing details if we want. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think that's kind of the pink where all of the sugary bits are. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good right there. Okay, I'll put that there. I'm going to do kind of like I would say a little bit of like a highlight area for the donuts too, because there's like this bluish highlight that we can make. I'm going to take some of the titanium white. I'm going to put it off to the side so it's not in the pink area there. I'm just going to take a little bit of cerulean blue and we'll make like a bluish highlight. And this will be for the donut because I find, so there's a little bit of highlights in like this section here. And I think it's on more of like the blue side. Yeah, it looks pretty blue. That'll just be a nice finishing touch at the end. So yeah, just like a very small amount of cerulean blue in there. Okay, I'll put this with the blue since it is like blue. Okay. And then now we can start kind of working on what colors we want the marshmallows to be. Now, I'm kind of thinking like we made this color here. Let me just see what it is compared to the, so we definitely want it quite light. So they're going to be almost like pastel-y, very washed out. So I'll start with the pink one. And they're very subtle. They're not like super, super pink. It almost has like a purpley in it. I think I might want to add a little bit of the blue in it just to make it a little purpley. I think that'll be nice. Let's see. Quinacridone magenta. Let's add a bit of that in there. That'll give us a really nice purple too. like I kind of messed up that color. Let's try that again. So I kind of added these two together, and then I added the quinacridone magenta, which I think the quinacridone magenta works here a little bit better. Let's do that. I feel like I'm gonna like this one a little bit better. Yeah, that's more the pink that I was kind of thinking. And it's already got kind of that cooler tone to it. It's got like a purpley pink to it already, so I think that works really well. So this is the color we're going to use for the pink marshmallow. So I'll put that aside. I want to also, so in the marshmallows, I'm going to try to add, you can kind of see there's like the shadow areas in the marshmallows. So we're going to also make like a deeper color to really pick out those darker areas. So I'm going to set a little bit this to the side. Go. Keep a bit of that on there. Don't want too much white on there when I'm mixing those deeper colors. So they're definitely, I would say, I'll do the quinacridone magenta, and then I'm thinking it will be kind of similar to this color that we mixed up, which was quinacridone magenta and a little bit of this purple, or sorry, the ultramarine blue. I think if we mix those up and then add a bit of white to it, it'll be like a really nice purple color, and that's what we'll use for the shadow. We added a little too much white there. Let me see. I think we are going to need to add, so we're making a purple color and we want to desaturate it a little bit. So we're going to go to the other side of the color wheel to desaturate this, and we can either use like, I would say more of like a yellowish green. So I'm going to use some of the sap green to just kind of desaturate this color a bit. Let's see if that's kind of what we're looking for there. And desaturate it a bit more. And it is looking kind of like we want it. Okay, so it's going to be the darker color. And it's so tiny, honestly, the marshmallow, that we'll just mix it on the paper. I'm not going to do too much of a transition color there because we should be able to kind of blend it out pretty good. And the shadows are pretty harsh. I would say they're not like, there's not a ton of transition in them. So we're going to work on the next one. So another marshmallow. Thinking we'll do kind of like I feel like a nice blue marshmallow would look cool on it, just to kind of like go with the background too. I think if we do kind of like a light blue marshmallow, that would be really nice. Like a really light blue marshmallow. Like, I'm just gonna add cerulean blue and titanium white together. Like a very faint blue marshmallow, like even lighter than the one we made for the background. And it's maybe a little darker than I wanted even. Okay, I think that's more of like the blue I was kind of looking for. And then we'll also make like a deeper color to go with that. So we've got that for the lighter section, and for the darker section, for the blue, I think we will go with, so it's going to be kind of purpley, more on, let's do it, I've got cerulean blue. I'm going to grab some of the quinacridone magenta. I'm going to mix cerulean blue and quinacridone magenta together. Add just a little bit of the white to it. It's going to be a slightly different purple than this one here. Go more on the blue end, like a darker blue. And then since this one is blue, we're actually gonna go for more of like, to desaturate the color, we're gonna add this cadmium red light. And that'll kind of like add that orangish tone in there, because orange is kind of the opposite of the color wheel, and that'll desaturate the color pretty nicely, I think, for us. Try not to make too much of this color. Okay, I think that's pretty much what we want for the deeper parts of that. Maybe still need a little bit of white in there. It's a little dark. And there's not actually blue marshmallows, but I just think blue would look really nice. So I'm gonna add that in. So we've got pink marshmallows, blue marshmallows, and then I was thinking some yellow marshmallows would be nice too. Have pink and blue and yellow. I'm gonna clean this off since we're gonna be mixing yellow, and yellow is very light and finicky, so you definitely don't want any other colors on your palette when you're mixing anything bright yellow. It will get dirty very quickly. So I'm going to grab some cadmium yellow. That has something else mixed in it, that's what I thought. There's kind of another color in there. I'm just making sure that the color is clean because I had this on my palette last week. Okay, start out with that. Some titanium white. Some nice yellowy marshmallow. Let's see. Maybe like a bit too yellow. And just add a bit more titanium white and put the other one a little bit aside. Just want a subtle yellow one, not like a super dark yellow. Okay, I think that's closer to what I wanted. There we go. And then I'm gonna make kind of like a darker color as well. I'm gonna grab some of this yellow I mixed, put some of this yellow in it. Get slightly darker, but we're gonna desaturate that because that's gonna be in the shadow area. And for yellow, if we want to desaturate it, we go onto the other side of the color wheel. We're gonna probably add a little bit of like blue into it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of blue. Okay. Got waffle stealer over here. Might have to put the waffles away because I'm not gonna eat them right now. And I think think we're gonna need to add a little bit of red as well in there. Let me see. A little bit of alizarin crimson as well. I almost want it to be like a toned down, like orangish color in the shadow. That's kind of what I'm going for anyway. Very muted orange. Which, don't really like the color that I mixed there. I'm gonna put that to the side. As I'm mixing, I'm not liking the idea of the yellow marshmallows anymore. I'm gonna maybe just scrap the yellow marshmallow idea. It's okay, we can scrap ideas as we're doing them. And I'm thinking, so we've got the highlight color, and I think we've got quite a variety of different purples we can use for the sugary colors. I think we just get started painting now because we are running behind as it is, and I don't want to take too long doing this. I will move over to the next scene, so I will just adjust this for you guys. And hopefully the colors are looking okay today. I tried to adjust the colors again for you guys, just so it's accurate to what I'm seeing on my end. And get this ready. I'm going to be using a little bit of linseed oil. I have this little jar of linseed oil, and I use that to clean my brushes in between colors. I'm going to do that, and we will move this camera so that you'll be able to see my face a little bit more. Oh, I know why we're having issues today. I was like, the colors seem really off. I forgot to put my other light. I forgot to plug my other light in. Let me plug that in, and it'll make it slightly brighter. Go. I'm just gonna move this camera so then while I'm at my easel, you guys will be able to see me. You can kind of see where my camera is there. Okay. So now you can see me a little bit better when I stand over at the easel. And I will take this and I will get my time-lapse camera set up because I love recording time-lapses for you guys. And set up my phone. I feel like this is going to be a fun one to paint today. I've been like really looking forward to this collab with Anna. She just has like, if you haven't checked out her stuff before, she just has like the I love her art. You need to go see it. She usually paints on like these little like round canvases, and by little I mean big. She paints a lot bigger normally. And she said this was actually like her first mini painting she did, so she was like really excited to try the mini painting, which is fun. Getting more artists into trying like the mini paintings, which is a lot of fun. And just setting up this camera here. Set this up. The one thing that I saw that YouTube just started doing is vertical live streaming, which is kind of cool. I might have to try some vertical live streams. I don't know how I would fit all of this mini paint challenge stuff into a vertical live stream, but I like the idea of maybe trying to do some other type of stream for the vertical one, because that's like kind of cool to have something a little different. Okay. Get this all set up. Go. Okay, so I've already done like the little sketch there. And all I have to do is dab it off with a little bit of an eraser. So I've got the little gummy eraser. It's just like an eraser from the back of a pencil, except they've like kneaded it so it's a little bit more flexible, which is nice. I find it takes the graphite off a little bit nicer. Just gonna dab that on because I don't want a ton of this to mix in with my oil paints. I feel like we've got a really nice color palette today. I love working with the pinks and blues together. I feel like they're really nice. I'm gonna put my waffles away. My cat keeps trying to take them. I'll have to heat them up after. There. Now she won't try to take my waffles anymore. They are in the fridge. I managed to eat one piece of the waffle this morning at least. Okay, just making sure we get as much graphite off as we can, but we still want to be able to see the sketch. There. And I think we'll start with the donut first. Do kind of the main donut first. I'm gonna grab, okay, which brush do I want to use first? I think I'll use, I tend to start out with my number 4 brush. This is a number 4 brush, Josol blender. I use the Princeton Velvet Touch series brushes, and I really love them. They have like such cute like tiny brushes, which is perfect for like all of the mini paintings that I like to do. And I'm thinking to start out with, like I said, I want to do the donut. So we tend to work from darkest to lightest. So we'll start with this pinky purple color that we made, and we will start with the darkest sections of the donut now. So I'm going to start out over here. I kind of marked off where some of the darker sections are. So this is a darker section here on the donut. We're blocking in the colors right now. And when I say like blocking it in, we're just putting it down. We're not like blending it out or anything. We're just getting the main colors down to start out with. And then we go back in and add details near the end. So it's kind of like that messy middle point. You want to start out by just like blocking in your colors first. It's easier to establish where everything goes that way. Block in the darkest, and then we move to the lightest colors, and then we go back in and we can add more paint on top of it as we need to. So we're adding a pretty thin layer on. A lot of people also like to start out with like an underpainting too. So I'm doing right now the shadows of the marshmallows that I want to do. So just the shadow part on the donut. And like I said, we can blend these out a little bit more later on. Just getting in those general shapes to begin with. That one. Shadow color here too. think that's one of the reasons I really love this reference photo, was I just really loved all of the shadows that were in these tiny little marshmallows. Really love any sort of reference photo that shows kind of like these like very dramatic like shadow and light areas. I tend to choose reference photos based on that a lot. That's why there's always like a nice shadow in my paintings. I feel like it adds more depth too when you're painting like the shadows and the light. Makes for an interesting composition. This section of the donut is pretty dark around the edges, so I'm just adding this color in here. And especially if you're using oil paints, like as we add kind of the lighter colors, this darker color, as we blend stuff in, it'll actually get lighter. So it may seem very dark right now, right against the white, but as we add the other colors in, you'll see that it won't look as dark anymore. It's kind of cool how it does that. Blend in. The little shadows in here. And I feel like lately I've been like really gravitating towards like a slightly looser brush stroke, especially on this first layer too. I feel like it's been really fun to just like play around with that like looser brush stroke on these layers. And then refine them later on. Okay, I'm trying to see where else we need darker shadows in here a little bit. In this section. That's more of like the blue in the background there. So will I be doing an Easter themed painting? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I haven't selected anything for, I guess it's the end of March is when Easter is now. My son has spring break at the end of March, and I think Easter's connected right at the end of March to it, like start of April there. So yeah, I will definitely do an Easter style painting. I don't know what I'll do yet, but I'll figure something out. I like to do little themed paintings for all of the different holidays and stuff throughout the year. As many as I can anyway, because I know there's just so many holidays. I just did one of some peeps. Oh my gosh, okay. Those are very cute. My mom used to like eating them. Those are like the little like marshmallow thingies, right? That's what you're talking about. I don't think I was the biggest fan of those, but I found a marshmallow brand that I actually do like now. And they're actually, what are they called? Dandies. That's the brand name. And they make these like vanilla marshmallows, like vanilla flavored marshmallows, and they're really, really good. And they're like more firm than the other marshmallows. So good. Okay, we're grabbing the slightly brighter or lighter in value pink that we made, so the next color down, and I'm just putting this pink around all of the darker color. We're gonna go from there. But yeah, I think it would be fun to do like an Easter painting. I don't know what I want to do yet. I feel like if I want to go like animal wise, like definitely like a cute little chick would be adorable. Like a little chick coming out of its egg or something. Oh, that'd be so cute. Or like obviously like bunnies. Bunnies would be cute. What else is very Eastery? I know Easter is one of like my mom's favorite holidays. Trying to think of all the things she enjoyed doing around Easter. Like definitely flowers. Flowers were a big part of like our Easter traditions. I was actually raised Catholic, but I don't actually practice any sort of religion now as an adult, but I did celebrate with my family within like the Catholic traditions growing up. Easter was a very important time. Went to a lot of like Sunday school and like masses and stuff growing up for Easter. I feel like flowers would be really nice to paint for Easter. Maybe I'll try to do some sort of like flowery thing. All of the spring type flowers. It's almost like, I guess, kind of Easter and spring at the same time. All of our flowers are starting to come up in our garden right now, and it's just, I love being outside when it's springtime for that. Just love all of the flowers. We've got like little crocuses in our garden coming up right now. Those are like, you know, the first flowers of the season. Love watching everything bloom. It's so pretty. Okay, I think we've got pretty good darker colors on there. We're gonna go with this next color down, and we're just gonna add kind of a base around a lot of these. Now it is a little bit lighter, so I'll use my little arrow over here. It is a little bit lighter colored in here and darker kind of pink in this area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on this darker one with this color, and then as we get closer to the front, we're gonna use this color, and then even closer to the front, we're gonna use this like pinkish color that we made with the alizarin crimson. And I think that will give us a nice transition from the darker colors. We'll add little bits of the other colors throughout because there's a slight lighter color here too, I'm noticing in the reference image. And we're just trying to do those base colors. Like I said, we're not adding in any of those details of the marshmallows or anything yet. We're just gonna add the background color at this point. Kind of add those in, and then we can always go back in and add other things. Okay, go like this here. I subtracted a few marshmallows. Adding this deeper color here. add some of this lighter purple now in there. It's not like lighter, but it's a slightly different tone. So it's just going to add a little bit of depth if we add those different colors in there. This purple. Trying not to blend out the colors too much right now. We don't want to do a ton of blending. We can always go back in and like add a bit extra at the end. Let's get the base color down for now. Nice colors in there. Just slowly start working into that like lighter pink, I think, as we get up here. Okay. Grab this lighter pink. Definitely that lighter pink kind of near the front area here. Glad we went with those different tones. I think they look really nice underneath there. And they're like blending pretty nicely together. Okay, that's a pretty nice base to start out with for us. Just kind of crisping up the lines a little bit now. Go around and just kind of patch up any of the white spots that we see, because we're almost kind of doing like an underpainting with paint. I don't like doing an underpainting to start. A lot of people like using like acrylic underpaintings and stuff, but I find I don't really like acrylic, so I kind of just do my underpainting with oils. And it works perfectly fine. I'm gonna grab one of my other little brushes after get this base layer down, and we'll blend it out with, I think, a smaller brush. I'm going to add that pinky color into this area because I feel like it's got kind of that bright highlight in here too. Some of the pink kind of goes in this area. I'm going to add those in there. And then a little bit, I think, honey, that you oh my gosh, honey. We have, we're turning our business into an incorporation because me and my husband are both going to work under the same business license. My cousin, or my husband's doing like contract work now, so we can talk about that later. Not live stream chat, hun. But yeah, we can figure it out. We're going to incorporate it this month, so that'll be an interesting process. I've never incorporated a business before. Because right now, we just have like a general like partnership. I think we're gonna get some help. There's actually an organization here where I live in Canada that like helps out with that. So I think we'll hire them to just help us incorporate it so we make sure we have all the right things done. Make sure we have all the right paperwork. Okay, I really like the base of that. I think that turned out really good. I'm glad we went with all of those nice base colors. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit, and I might actually use this a little bit to blend, and then I'll grab my like slightly tinier one to blend too. Just cleaning it off with a little bit of linseed oil. And I'm brushing the darker layers out a little bit. Like I said, the darker layers would lighten up as we add the other colors. That's kind of what we're doing now, is we're just brushing those out and lightening up these areas a bit more. Dip into the darker color a bit more, and I add a bit of the dark color around the edge here. Like it needs a little bit more depth around the edge here, so I'm going to add a little bit of that dark color around the edge. And the edges will look a little bit cleaner once we add the background in, so don't worry about that too much. If you're not adding the background, just be extra careful as you're going around. Sometimes I decide to just have like a white background, but I just felt like the blue would be such a nice contrast today. So I've got like these little like really tiny blender brushes, and I'm going to do that, blend these little shadows, little marshmallow shadows out. We can always touch this up after we also paint the marshmallows, but blend these out for now. You can adjust the shadow later on because we'll paint, I think, the marshmallows next. That'll kind of be our next task, is to get those marshmallows in. So there's a decent amount of detail. Oh, my cat is stepping on things. Okay, cat, get down. I hope she didn't press anything. I think we're good. Okay, headphones are still on, that's good. I'm always afraid when they step on my laptop, they're gonna like cause chaos. I think she just wants to play right now. I will play with you after, Kit Kat. silly. I always want to play when we doing something else, but when we go to play with them, yeah, she definitely wants to play. She's like grabbing her toy over there. She's so cute. I will play with her after the stream. I guess I'll have to do that after the stream. She's so cute. She does like the cutest little jumps in the air when I play with her. Okay, those shadows are looking pretty good now. Like I said, we'll adjust the shadows a bit after we get the main part of the marshmallow done. And I decided on just doing the blue marshmallows and some pink marshmallows. So that's the marshmallows we're doing today. Took out a few of the marshmallows just because don't need to paint them all. I feel like that's pretty good. It's coming along. The colors still look different. It's very different on stream. I still haven't figured out how to make my camera look a little bit better for the stream. Like my monitor is calibrated, so I guess it depends on everyone's monitor anyway. Okay, just cleaning that off, and like I said, I think we'll do the marshmallows now. The one type of brush I really want to get is a slightly smaller blender brush like this, so you can do like smaller details. You need a slightly smaller brush. I'm going to do the pink marshmallows first, and then we'll do the blue marshmallows. I don't need to clean it up too much because this has just a little pink on it anyways. It's got pinky purple. Not too bad. Okay, we're going to grab this lighter. Actually, no, we should do the darker color. What am I doing? Should do the shadowy parts first. Just immediately went for the light color. We'll work from the shadows first. Okay, I'm gonna grab the darker purpley color for the pink shadows. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure I start this camera. I have to decide which ones I want pink now. I have to decide which marshmallows. So I think I will make this one pink. And got kind of this one. And I will make this one pink. And I'll make this one pink. This marshmallow will be nice as pink. this one pink as well, and then the rest will be blue. So I'm just doing the shadowed parts of those marshmallows. I think I'll do the rest of them blue. We're going to grab this lighter pink color now. We're going to slowly start getting the marshmallow shapes in. We'll go back in and blend them after, so don't worry too much about blending them out right now. I'm also going to leave some of them a little bit white in certain areas because I am going to add a bit of white, I think, to these marshmallows. Kind of like that bluish white highlight, because I think it'll look really nice if we have kind of a highlight on certain sections. Just fixing that one. I'll grab more of this pinkish color. And this marshmallow here. I said I was going to turn this one pink too. Just gotta remember which ones I'm turning pink. We got the base of the marshmallows kind of down, so I'm just trying to get these colors in, and then we'll go back in and kind of, like I said, I think add some of the whitish blue to the top of them. And then let's got this marshmallow here. And I think I want to turn this one pink too, actually. Add some of that darker color in this section. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with my little blender one, and I'm going to blend out the marshmallow colors. So this one, blend some of these colors out, just between the dark and the light sections. Blend those out a bit, and then we'll go back in with some white. Blend that out. Okay. And now I will go in a little bit of this whitish blue that we made. Just going to touch up certain parts of the marshmallow here and add a little bit of that color in. Just on the brightest parts of the marshmallow. It'll give the marshmallows a little bit of depth. You can only do so much on like such small little marshmallows. That's why I really zoomed in on the donut for the reference photo, because when you're looking at a really small composition, You want to make sure you're zooming in on the object enough so then you can add like a decent amount of details still. Because you can only add so many small details, or at least I find that as the objects get smaller, I definitely don't want to add as much detail because it kind of like overcrowds it a bit. You have to be very selective of what kind of details you're going to add when you're doing mini paintings. It's like, it's a different type of painting in itself, just doing the smaller ones. Because I've painted like really large paintings before, and like you just approach details a lot different when you're doing a large painting versus these smaller ones. That's kind of why I fell in love with these small ones, though. I love how selective you have to be with the details you decide to use. Or not use, but like recreate. Those marshmallows are looking good. I like those. Those are really pretty. Okay, now we're gonna do the blue marshmallows. And this is the part where you gotta trust the process too, because some of the colors may look off as you're painting. But as you add like the background color in and all the other colors around it, because the white really does trick your eye, and that's why I think a lot of people start out with underpaintings. The colors will look off until you add all the other colors around it, and then we can kind of adjust after we've added all the base colors. And I find that's the easiest way to approach it is if, I want to add the darker color first. What am I doing? I keep wanting to add the lighter color because it's just so pretty on the marshmallow. We're going to start with the darker color for the blue marshmallow. So I'm going to add this darker color here. Okay, so we're going to go on to the sides of this marshmallow. Add kind of this deeper color on the side. The darkest part. So a little deep part there. Also gonna add and we're also going to add, I wanted to make this one blue as well. I might take out some of the other marshmallows around the edges. I feel like they're not as necessary. Maybe this one around the edge here. Keep that one. Maybe I'll keep one of the marshmallows here. Just trying to decide which ones I want to keep. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. Slowly subtracting more marshmallows as I paint. Now we're gonna just clean off our brush and we're gonna add the lighter blue color now in. So we are going to start with these ones. We'll leave some sections kind of white, so we can add a little bit of the lighter white color to them. Just felt like it would be nice to have slightly different colored marshmallows. It's like fun to change up the colors on things. Detail in it. And we've got a blue marshmallow here. Okay, I'm gonna grab my little blender brush now. I'm very focused on getting these marshmallows right because I feel like it is the best part of this. I'm gonna blend out these little marshmallows now. Just where all the dark areas are again. Add a shadow in this section. Just add a little bit now. Blend that out a bit. If it were me, I'd be adding less marshmallows and sugar crystals. Yeah, I might not add a ton of sugar crystals. It's very sugar crystal-y, and that adds a lot of detail. I'm going to add them kind of near the end if I end up wanting to add some sugar crystals. I wanted a lot of marshmallows on it though, because I feel like the marshmallows are like my favorite part, and I just thought they would be so fun to add to the top of the donut. This is the part I'm most excited about, is all these marshmallows. They're just so cute. I love the marshmallows. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of white now. We're gonna add this like bluish white that we made. And we're just gonna slowly add that in to the lightest blue marshmallow. I think I need to I'm grabbing another number 4 brush. I'm just making this marshmallow shaped a little bit nicer. I feel like it kind of went off in shape a bit. Rounding out the corner a little bit. There. That's better. Okay, we're going to grab more of this lighter color. Slowly shape this. And we can change up the directions of the marshmallow, which I love. Don't have to do it exactly like the reference. I'm just go. Looks pretty good there. I just gotta fix that one near the top here. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. A little bit on this guy here. We're not trying to make the marshmallows look like perfect shape because they look more realistic if you just like kind of mess around with the shapes a little bit. Just adding a little bit more white onto these blue marshmallows, just as almost like little highlights on the marshmallows. I do the same, I think, with the pinky marshmallows. Add a little bit of kind of highlights to those marshmallows. Shape this marshmallow a little bit more. Okay, and we might fix the shadows on a few of these, so I'm gonna grab my other blend. I have another blender one, and we're gonna grab the shadow color, so this really dark color here, and we're just gonna fix the shadows a little bit, make them a little bit deeper in certain sections, and that'll really make the marshmallows pop a little bit more. So we're gonna make it deeper, like closer to the edge of the marshmallows. And we've already blended out this section, so all we're doing is just adding that deep color right back in, right against the marshmallow. Just to add a little bit of depth to that shadow, because I feel like it needs a little bit of depth. We've blended it out quite a bit, and sometimes you just need to go back in and like add a little bit more color to it again. And you'll really notice a big difference like when you do that. It's crazy how like such a small little like shadow can play a massive role in how the marshmallows like contrast with the donut. So I'm just going around adding that shadow in. There we go. Add a bit more shadow in that area too. Okay, let me see. go, that's coming along. Okay. I'm gonna go in and start adding in some of the background, and then we'll go back into the donut afterwards and add like more details, like, you know, the sugariness and all the little like highlights. I like to add the highlights at the end. So I'm gonna use my number 6 brush to get the background colors in. I'm gonna start out with this really deep purple color. I'm gonna do this in the middle of the donut. This is kind of the super dark purpley middle section. It's kind of like a marshmallow in the middle there. Like maybe I want that marshmallow there. I don't want all of them in there, but like the one over to this side a little bit. Maybe we'll keep that marshmallow down there. It's like a darker marshmallow. I feel like we could add that darker marshmallow in, make it a pink one. And I'm going to add a little bit of this darker donut color to the marshmallow here. Okay. Got that darker color there. Now I'm going to add a darker color along the edge of the donut in this shadow here. So we're going to work on adding a really deep shadow along the edge here. Just along the edge. I don't want to bring it out too far. I want it to start to get more blue as you get out from that edge. Okay. I'm going to start bringing this like purplish color in, and then we'll make the blend that out. Now we're going to bring this bluish color in. This will start to bring a little bit of that blue tone we want from the background in there. clean off my brush a bit just to get some of that purple out. Slowly adding more of this blue in. I'm trying to focus. We'll blend this out a bit more after. I'm going to get the other colors in. So I'm going to go with this lighter cerulean blue. I'm going to do it right around the edges here. I'm going to sharpen up this edge a bit. I love using this cerulean blue. It's such a pretty color. I'm going to slowly add more of this in, and as we work closer to the front, we're going to add more of the lighter cerulean blue that we mixed up. And just, you don't need to blend it out right now with the other colors. We can go back in, we can blend it. I want this to be actually a pretty like solid transition line anyway, so we're not going to blend that out, but between the cerulean blue and the lighter cerulean blues, we're definitely going to blend those out. Just going to clean off my brush a little bit more. I'm just cleaning it on this rag. I'm going to go into this next color here that we mixed up. I'm going to slowly bring this color in, not mixing the transition in between yet. We're just laying the color down. You could also make the transitions like more harsh if you want, and more like kind of like painterly. You don't have to do a smooth transition in the background. I just like to have the smoother transitions. Just kind of like part of my style now, I guess, because I really like blending out colors and having those like super smooth transitions. That's like the nice part about oil paint, is I can get those smooth transitions that I want with oil paint, whereas like other paints, like I used to work with acrylic sometimes, and harder to blend out. I used to paint, or not paint, but I used to draw a lot with like markers, and it's really hard to blend out marker colors too. I can get more of the transitions that I want since using oil paint. Okay, don't want to bring this blue up too high. You'll notice I'm trying not to put too much paint in the background because I don't want to have to take off a lot of paint, because when I'm blending it out, I don't want like a ton of paint. It's easier to blend if you're not putting too much paint on the paper. Yeah, I forgot to mention what type of paper I'm using. I'm using Archie's oil painting paper. It's actually like a canvas paper. It's just a lot smoother. So it is made from, it's 100% cotton paper, so it's just like canvas. Except I find they make the paper a lot smoother, and you also don't have to prep the paper either. It's already prepped for you. Okay, and now we're going to use this next color down. That's going to be the lightest color that we're going to use. I'm going to clean my brush a little bit. Go back in with this lighter one. Might actually add a slightly lighter one there. Let's get this in first. Okay. And I will add some more sugar and highlights in the donut. I feel like that'll look so pretty. I've never actually had a donut with like sugar like that. Anna's from Sweden, and she just like, most of her paintings contain kind of like different types of like Swedish desserts. I don't want to like butcher the name of it, but there's like, I guess, a practice in Sweden, or a word for like gathering around and like eating together. It's like fika, or I don't know, Fika, and it's a really cute, like, I just love her compositions and the way that she does her art, because it's like you're like sitting around a table like eating all of these like cute little desserts and having like tea together, which I just love. I like the concept of her paintings because it's like gathering like with friends or family and like just enjoying a nice meal together. And if I could pronounce that word, I would use that word a lot, because I love that. I love gathering with friends and eating together. We're doing a slightly lighter white. I'm just like not cleaning off my brush, and I'm dipping it in this bluish white that we made, just to have one more transition color here in the corner. Okay, pretty good there. I am going to take my little blender brush now. So I have this little guy here. Can you guys see that okay? There we go. So it's got kind of like a, they're called like mini mop brushes. and they're just so smooth to blend with. I love blending with these. Okay, so I'm going to take it in between this first transition color. And when you're blending stuff out and you want it to be really smooth, the best thing you can do is in between each color transition is you can take your brush, and I just take like a rag and I go like this and just kind of like wipe it off, so then you're like dry brushing it. And so just do that, and then I go like this and clean it off in between, and I find that gives a really nice transition between the colors. And I don't want too much of a transition in between this. I want it to be pretty obvious for that one. So I'm not going to blend that out. We'll touch up some of those marshmallows and stuff on the edges when we work on the details on the donut. Donut looks honestly pretty nice, but we will make it look even nicer when we add all of those like little highlights. Really adds a lot to it when you get those highlights in there. It's already 12 o'clock. My watch is going off. It's okay. We're actually doing pretty good for time. Try not to make these streams go more than 3 hours. So it's been 2 hours. We kind of got behind on the painting because of a little mishap at the start, but that's okay. We figured it out. I'm glad we ended up figuring it out, and I got the stream running. Bringing it as close as I can to the line, but I don't want to actually blend that color out. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to lighten this up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the cerulean blue over here to lighten the shadow. I feel like I need to lighten the shadow a little bit. It's pretty dark. And then we're going to go in with a different brush to kind of touch up this line along here, because the line is very jagged and a little harsh. Doesn't look as nice as I want it to. Maybe I added a little too much of that. That's okay. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna add back in a little bit of this darker color. Go. Just kind of pushing those colors a little bit. Just decided I didn't want it as dark as I had it, which is okay. You can kind of change things up, and if you don't like how something looks, you can always like paint over it when the paint dries in a few days. Okay, now I'm gonna grab one of my really little brushes again, and I'm gonna blend this out a little bit on the edges. Just blending those out very slowly. looks about what we wanted it to be. I think we've got a nice sharp line for that section now. Yeah, the blender brush really helps there and like kind of adding the colors in and then going back in and like blending it out. Works out pretty well. Okay, just cleaning up the line around the marshmallows here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Now we get to add some like highlights to the donut. So I am gonna add a little bit of the sugar. I'm deciding on which brush I want to use for like the little sugar dots. Probably use one of my finer liner brushes. Maybe my 10/0 liner brush. And we can grab, so a lot of the sugary crystals are that dark color that we mixed up here. I'm gonna grab that and we can maybe start with this and then maybe add the lighter color over top of them just to add some depth to them. And then we'll add highlights, and I think the highlights are really what's gonna bring the crystals to life. And I guess we just start adding a bunch of these. We should add different sized ones so they're not like all the same. And maybe we should add some different colored crystals because it looks like some of them kind of have almost like a purpley tone to them too. Add them more sporadically. I forgot to ask Anna what type of donut this is because it looks really good. I want to make some on my own. I love cooking my own donuts. And it's really hard to find like plant-based food because like I can't have like dairy and stuff. So I have to eat a lot of plant-based food. I find animal products really upset my tummy, so I mean, I live in Victoria on Vancouver Island in Canada, and I'm actually pretty lucky. I feel like it's like the one place in Canada that has probably the most amount of like plant-based options, so I do feel very fortunate to live here. But there's still a lot of places kind of lacking plant-based options, so I just make a lot of my own food, which is fine. When I add the highlights, I'll use like my even smaller brush, I guess. Trying to decide where exactly I want all of these these little sugar crystals. I feel like the sugar crystals are like a nice fun challenge. You definitely could like skip the sugar crystals if you want. If you're like new to painting, I would advise you skip this part. And then your painting will be finished a lot sooner. And you could just add highlights to like the donut and stuff to make it a little shiny. I think I want to add some purpley ones now. There's kind of like a light lavender purple. I'm trying to decide which color will be best for that. Just cleaning my brush off. Like my cloth is getting dirty. Just trying to find like places I can actually clean my brush off now. So there's kind of like that darker purple. Maybe we'll kind of do a similar purple to the marshmallow. We'll reuse that. And then we'll go back in and we'll add highlights to all of this. It's almost like doing like a ton of sprinkles. Okay. I already got purple on my brush, so maybe I will use this lighter color. Oh, I got a little bit of linseed oil on that side. Just try to avoid that side right now. Just might be hard for you to see that section there because I got a little too much linseed oil on it. Okay. I think we are adding a little bit of that to all of the purple ones I made. Looking pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna add a slightly lighter pink to the reddish one. I'm gonna use this other pink that I made here. And those. And we're also going to add extra highlights on top of that. Even more. It's kind of cool how like just adding like different shades of color to those like same dots will kind of start to make it a bit more unique. And then there's almost kind of like a slightly other colored one. It's more of like a yellowish orange one. Didn't actually end up mixing like a yellowish orange. Like we kind of have this one. We actually could use that other one we made. Kind of made like this yellowish color. Put it on the palette. I have a bit of pink on my brush still. Just mix that in. Add a little bit of linseed oil to that. We'll add a bit of this color too. It's got like pink and yellow and titanium white together. I guess that yellow color we made actually did come in handy. I didn't even put it on my color palette because I was like, I don't know if I'll use it, but I kind of like that yellowy color for the sprinkles or for the sugary bits. Might even use that darker yellow we made too at the start. Can add some of that darker color to it as well. I didn't think we would use this one. I'm making a few of these like fall off the edge of the donut too, because I feel like that's gonna like make it look a little nice. I'm gonna grab that darker kind of color we made. Add that in with the yellow. It's kind of like a greenish color that we made. Add a little bit of contrast in there by adding a slightly different color. Pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna grab the finest liner brush that I have, and now we're gonna start adding some of this blue that we made. I'm gonna add a little bit of linseed oil to it. I find titanium white is pretty thick, and I like to add a little bit of linseed oil. Don't want to add too much because it'll change like the consistency of the paint as you're putting it on. There we go. Okay. Now we will add the highlights. So most of the highlights, I would say, we're looking at more of the highlights like around this area here, just to make the donut a little shinier. And we'll even add a little bit of highlights kind of like on the marshmallows a bit. I think we could probably add some highlights there. Okay. Just I'm gonna add some highlights along the edge of the donut. Especially near this front section here. Just really trying to put a lot of highlights in that front section. And then as we get further to the back, like this part will have some highlights around here. Really where we put those lighter pink. We're gonna have more highlights in where the lighter pink is. And then a lot of these like little sugar crystals, like they have a highlight on them as well. And so we're gonna go around and just like add like little highlights to the odd sugar crystal. Definitely gonna add some more highlights in these marshmallows here. And then at some point we'll grab just plain titanium white and we'll add a little bit of titanium white back in to the reference as well. I'm going to add a bit more highlights in this front section here. It's coming along now. It's starting to look shiny. I'm going to stand back. I need to add even a little bit of shininess in some of the sections. And looking pretty good. Make sure I add all of the little shiny parts that I want. I'm going to grab some plain titanium white now. Just going to clean this off a bit. I'll put it beside this. It's pretty close to the color we were using, but I'm going to make the brightest highlights with this. Specifically the brightest highlights around this area here. I want to add too many more highlights because I actually really like how it looks. You can definitely go overboard with the highlights, so just want to add it in these areas. And then a little bit of this on top of a few of the marshmallows. Just along the lightest edge of the marshmallow. Really highlighting this, each marshmallow just along the edge where it's hitting the sun the most. And that'll just make the marshmallows pop a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's like looking pretty good. I think that we can probably do like one more highlight in this section here. I think we're good. Okay, now we got to step back from our painting, see if we want to add anything else. But I really like that we added the blue background this time. I feel like the blue background is really nice. I'm gonna make sure I take a photo of this for you guys and post it on the community tab so you guys can see a close-up version, because it definitely looks a little bit different. The colors are a bit different in person, but that's okay. I will get a photo up there for you guys so you can see what mine looks like in person, and I think we did pretty good today. I like how that turned out. I am very grateful for Anna that provided this reference photo today. It's so fun. I have like collabs lined up for all of March now and part of April, so I am excited to show you guys who else we're going to be working with this month. But thanks for like tuning in today. It was a really fun live stream. I'll put it on our finishing. If you're just tuning in now, I host these every week, Wednesday at 10 a.m. PST, and I try to finish them by 1 p.m. PST. And I think we did pretty good today. I stopped before the sugar. Yeah, the sugar was it was a bit of a challenge, but I think the sugar, I didn't add too much sugar. I think you could probably like add so much sugar if you like were using like a giant piece of paper to do it. So I was trying to keep it sparse, not too much sugar. But if you are new here, we are doing this every single week, every Wednesday, and I provide the reference photo or I collab with another artist and we paint together. everyone's day. And I've been really enjoying doing these live streams. I'm so happy to have a bunch of you here. And I know a lot of you can't watch like the actual live streams, so I've been trying to keep them up on the channel so then you can go back and like watch them whenever you can. So if you are watching it back now, thanks for hanging out and painting, and make sure that you post your finished painting on Instagram or Facebook and tag me at Meg and Josol Art and use the hashtag mini paint challenge, because I look at the hashtag the odd time to see who has participated, and I like to share your guys' finished work with my community too. So it's nice to see like everyone's different style, because everyone paints in like different mediums and different styles. So it's so fun to hang out with you guys and do these. So I will see you next Wednesday, and I haven't figured out what I'm painting yet, but I will keep you guys updated on my stories. I'm always posting stories, so once I figure out what we're going to be painting next week, I'll post it on my stories and make a post for sure the Tuesday, the day before, and then we can all paint together. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye everyone.